The meeting will come to order, and at this time I'm going to recognize Buddy Fowler to say our invocation.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Let's bow our heads. Our Father, we come to you tonight asking you to continue to send many blessings on this country. Father, we ask you to bless this council. We have a new year, a new day, and a new age, Father. We ask you to guide us through all of this, make our decisions the best for our citizens. Father, we have a lot of people who's passed on. We ask you to be with their family, comfort them, be with them. We ask you to continue to protect our military overseas and at home, bring them home safely, be with their families as well, Father. We ask you to continue, if you would, Father, help us and guide us and lead us. We ask all these things in your most precious name. Amen.
Amen. At this time, I'll recognize Don Helms to lead us in our pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
At this time, I'm going to recognize our Honorable Superior Judge Kent Harold to do our formal swearing in. I'm going to step down with you.
I want to say what a privilege it is for me to be able to come and administer the oath for Teresa. She and I have known each other for many years, and it's always a privilege for me to come to Surf Cities because you guys have some unbelievable administration from the town council, your mayor, and your town manager. So it's always a delight for me to come over here, but especially for Teresa. You're gonna hold the Bible. You want to place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Teresa B. Batts,
Do solemnly and sincerely
do
swear
solemnly and sincerely swear
that I will support
that I will support
the Constitution of the United
the
States,
Constitution of the United States.
that I will be faithful
I will be faithful
and bear true allegiance
and bear true allegiance
to the state of North Carolina
to the state of North Carolina
and to the constitutional powers
and to the constitutional powers
and authorities
and authorities
which are or may be established
which are or may be established
for the government thereof,
for the government thereof,
and that I will endeavor
and that I will endeavor
to support, maintain, and defend
to support, maintain, and defend
the Constitution of said state,
the Constitution of said state,
not inconsistent with
not inconsistent with
the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
to the best of my knowledge and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Deliver these oaths to your clerk.
At this time, anyone that is not planning on staying for the rest of the meeting may be excused. Otherwise, we're going to proceed on with the meeting.
Daddy's talking to you.
We're going to continue on with our meeting. If Ms. Terry would come up with the Beautification and Enhancement Committee Awards. We have the Business of the Month and the Home of the Month awards to present. And Becky Borneman, that owns the Coral Cottage, if she would please come up. Thank you, Becky, for all you do. Next is the home of the month, which is 703 South Shore Drive, William Costner.
There he is.
Thank you, Mr. Costner. The next item of business is to adopt the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion, we approve the agenda.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those that oppose, the same sign. The motion carries. Agenda is approved. The next item is the approval of the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion, we approve it.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Second,
All right, I
Just need
second.
a second, Teresa.
Got a second?
Motion carries. The consent agenda is approved. At this time, we'll call on public comments. Carla, do you have a list?
Heather Allen.
Hi, everyone. My name is Heather Allen. I live at Waterside. I wanted to come say, hope you had a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and also to see if you might reconsider the sign that is conspicuously posted right when you walk in. It says, no concealed firearms. There's no federal, state, or local law that prohibits concealed carry firearms in a town building. Currently, there's 8,000 active permits in Pender County alone. I can't tell you how many exactly are in Surf City right now because that information is not available. However, I can tell you that concealed carry permit holders are some of the most law-abiding, safest citizens in America. And that's not just my opinion. I have some statistics. So John Lott Jr., he's a former president of the Crime Prevention Research Center, and he worked for the U.S. Department of Justice, and he did a pretty recent study and found that concealed carry permit holders commit crime 1/7 the rate of police officers, not these police officers, but, and also that the average female is 13 times more likely to be arrested than a female concealed carry permit holder, and the average male is 18 times more likely to commit a crime than the average concealed carry permit holder. In Pender County, you have to pay a bunch of money. You have to drive to Burgaw a few times. You have to get your fingerprints done. You have to get a major background check. Then you also have to pay more money, take an 8-hour class, which consists of a written test. You have to take a marksmanship test. Then the instructor signs their name. They put their signature behind the certificate, which is then given to the sheriff, Mr. Alan Cutler, and he puts his name, his signature on the actual permit. So basically, everyone in Surf City, they've been thoroughly vetted by the Sheriff Cutler, who has a concealed carry permit. I guess the last thing I would point out is that, you know, if there was a truly evil person that wanted to do something bad in this hall, they would just pretty much walk right past that sign, and they would know exactly, you know, who to take out, because typically there's only 1 or 2 people who are authorized to have a firearm here, and then we would all kind of be left sitting ducks. So just something for you guys to think about. If you just disagree with me on anything, I'd love to sit down, talk to you, get your take on things, and that's about all. So thank you for your time.
Jack Solak.
Well, so sorry to hear about Nelva passing away. We moved down here about 27 years ago, and Nelva was the person that put me on the first beach nourishment committee back then. It was a long time ago. We've been working on beach nourishment for 25 years, and hopefully it'll be done next year, or started next year. or this year, towards the end of this year, I hope. But the other thing I wanted to say is that we moved here like 27 years ago. We've been down here, and I love the town. But on December 28th, we closed on our house. I sold our house, and I'm leaving. I love this town. I love the people. I love everybody on the council. But sad to say, we're leaving. About 4 days later, we bought a house in South Carolina, in Little River. And 2 more days, we're closing on that house. So it's been a fast go. But I will miss Surf City, and I thank all of you guys for working real hard. And a lot of the people here, I think Kathy Medlin was on that same first meeting of the Beach Nourishment, so she knows. So if I can help you at all or whatever, please give me a call. I'll see you in Surf City. I mean, I'll see you in South Carolina.
Thank you, Jack.
There's no more. That's all.
So at this time, we'll call on Kyle Brewer, our Surf City Town Manager, to give us our manager's report.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, and please excuse me if I'm a little under the weather, so if you don't understand, I'm a little muffled here, but a few things I'll just update you on. I will keep it brief. The federal project, we're expecting to pick those discussions up now that we're through the holidays. We were in a somewhat of a lull through Christmas and New Year's, but then on top of that, I've also requested that we have a sit-down meeting with them again, just to make sure that we're staying on track and everything is moving forward appropriately. So please look out for that. Speaking of the beach and beach nourishment, we do have our dune planting program that's going on right now. So the beach grass is up and running again for the winter planting season. We'll again follow up with sea oats and the introduction of a third species, the bitter panicum. So our clerk has been doing a fantastic job at working with Coastal Transplants to make that available for our residents, and the town does do a cost share with that, so please take advantage if you're an oceanfront property owner. The town applied for grant funds to develop a beach management plan. I've not heard back from Coastal Management on the results of that, but as soon as I do, I'll certainly let council know. But we had to do a quick resolution last meeting to get that application in, and that did get completed. Just wanted to mention real quick, the Beautification Enhancement Committee, we have a couple members here, worked really hard this past Sunday to get that mural wall pressure washed in preparation for primer. So that the mural artists will begin very soon to get this completed, as we have a narrow window before additional tank maintenance work resumes on the water tower over there. So look out for that project to move forward very soon. Several things in regards to stormwater. We have the South Shore sites are in design. Specifically the one at 2201, I was able to meet with a representative from Pleasant Cove to go over that site and gain consensus on the overall design. The goal to eliminate any impact to that secondary dune in that location. So we're able to maintain the cubic volume of actual stormwater storage by reducing the footprint and widening that design. So we were pleased with that and pleased with the consultant. Our utilities director, David Price, and I continue to work on the overall stormwater plan with anticipation of presenting findings back to council at your February 28th retreat. So be prepared to discuss some options for us moving forward. And then phase 3 of the Resilient Coastal Communities Program project continues to move forward. A presentation will be provided to the Topsail Island Shoreline Protection Commission, as they are generally the steering committee for the 3-town project. So all those good projects moving forward, and we certainly appreciate the work that all the folks are doing on that. Moving into budget work, we continue to work on the fiscal year 23-24 budget. Finance Director McCole and I are meeting with department heads right now to review their capital improvement plan items, again with anticipation of bringing these to council at your retreat. And just a kudos to all of our department heads and staff that do a great job at projecting out their needs and providing a tool to make sure we stay on track towards our larger goals for the town. And speaking of budget and finances, I hate to announce that Mr. McCole will be leaving the town to pursue another opportunity in the middle of the state to be closer to family. Dave has been a tremendous asset to the town, and its finances certainly highlighted, I think, by the audit presentation that you'll hear later on. So we'll certainly miss Dave. I'll be working with him over the next few weeks to close out projects, assess progress, and make sure we're on a clear path for a new person to take over. Position is being advertised, and I hope to get this filled as soon as I possibly can. Real quick, the Mainland Park project, we got some Parks and Rec Advisory Committee members here. Those plans continue to progress. Surveying work hopefully is getting wrapped up so that permits can be obtained for stormwater and sediment erosion control. We did have the opportunity to travel to Oak Island to see their skate park under construction, listen about their process, and get some insight as to looking forward to the town's project, and just getting really excited about that. And then just lastly, just wanted to recognize a couple people in the audience that I had noticed. Well, Congressman Rouser's representative, Billy Christ, was here. Just as a reminder to anybody in the audience, he does sit in Town Hall on Thursdays once a month. So if you have any issues with the federal legislation, you can come and talk to Billy. And then Sheriff Cutler is, I see, hiding over there in the entryway. Our Pender County Sheriff is here this afternoon, too. So I just want to recognize you both and appreciate you being here. Oh, and Mayor Wenzel here is, and I saw Mayor Smith was here earlier, too. So
Doug's in the back.
And Doug.
Allen, and a Pender County Commissioner, Lisa Carpenter.
Okay, and we got Commissioner Zizak there. So man, we just got a full crowd this evening. So hope I didn't leave anybody out. But thank you, Madam.
Thank you, Kyle. At this time, we will move to the next item of business on the agenda under old business, and it is cancel vacancy. So we have received 14 applications to fill the vacant council seat. I want to thank everyone that has applied to this position. There are two ways to fill a vacant council seat. One way is a written ballot method, where each council member writes the name of their choice on a ballot and signs the ballot. The clerk then collects and tallies the ballots, and the nominee who receives the majority of votes is selected. It should be noted that the mayor cannot vote to break a tie when using the written ballot method. The second way to fill a vacancy is to utilize the motion and vote method. In a motion method, a council member makes a motion to appoint a particular nominee, and if that motion receives a second, the clerk then calls the roll, and the nominee who receives the majority of the votes is selected. In the motion and vote method, the mayor can vote to break a tie. Given the number of applicants for this vacant seat, the town attorney recommends we utilize the written ballot method first. If the first round results in a tie, we will then proceed to a second round. If the second round results in a tie, we then will proceed to motion and vote method so the mayor can break a tie if she elects to do so. The town's attorneys has recommended the procedure is as follows. All applicants are considered nominated. Each council member will vote by written signed ballot for the person he would like to have filled the vacancy. A person who receives a majority of votes is selected to fill the vacancy. If no one receives a majority, then those who receive no votes will be dropped from consideration. We will then proceed to the next round of written ballot process. Each council member will vote by written signed ballot for the person he would like to have filled the vacancy from the remaining list of nominees. A person who receives a majority of votes is selected to fill the vacancy. If no one receives a majority, we will then proceed to the motion process. At that point, any council member may make a motion to appoint a nominee to fill the vacancy. If that motion receives a second, the clerk will call the roll. If there is a tie, I, as mayor, may vote to break the tie. At this time, I am asking for a motion to formalize this procedure.
I make a motion, we formalize the procedure.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Motion carries. Next, I will need a motion to add applicants to the ballot. The ballot will be distributed by the clerk back to all council members, then collected after you have registered your vote. The clerk will review and tally up votes and announce the results back to council. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion, and we do have a ballot.
And do I have a second?
I have a second. I'll make a second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those that oppose, say no. Motion carries.
Madam Mayor and Council, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Just to follow up on what you said, the procedure that's been adopted is we will utilize the signed written ballot method for the first round. If a majority vote is cast for a particular candidate, he or she will fill the vacancy. If not, all those of the 14 who did not get any votes in the first round, they're dropped from consideration, and we will go to the second round of written ballots. Again, if there's no majority, we will proceed to the motion and vote method, which is I make a motion that person X be appointed to the vacancy. And in that event, as you pointed out, Mayor, you may vote to break the tie, but you are not required to vote. And if you do not vote, that is not counted as a yay vote like it would be for an unexcused council member. So I just want to make that clear on the front end. The other thing I want to remind all of the council members of, as you cast your written ballot votes, make sure you sign the bottom of the ballot. The law requires the clerk to keep those on file, and they are available for inspection by the public after the meeting. Do you have any questions of me regarding procedure?
Anyone have any questions?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you. So at this time, we will ask the council to fill out their first ballot and pass it down, or Carla can come and collect them from each council person.
We do not have a majority, so I'm going to pass them back out for the second round.
Madam Clerk, can you announce who did receive votes? Because all of those who did not receive a single vote are dropped from consideration. That's the procedure that was adopted.
Okay. Votes received were Trudy Solomon, Carlton Huffman, and Hugh Kennedy.
So on this second round, Madam Mayor and Council, only those three individuals should be reflected on the ballot. One of the three, those are the only three left for consideration based on the procedure we adopted.
Brian, do you want me to say how many votes for each one?
Didn't hear you.
Brian, can you hear me?
Yes, I apologize, I muted it. Yes, I do. If you
Okay.
completed round two, it's hard for me to tell. I take it we just completed,
Yes.
you have the ballots for round two?
I have the
Okay.
ballots for round 2,
Okay,
and votes were for Trudy Solomon and Hugh Kennedy, but I did not have a majority.
was it a tie then?
Yes.
Okay. All right, pursuant to the procedure we adopted, we'll now proceed to the motion and vote method. So it would be appropriate for someone to make a motion to appoint someone to fill that vacancy.
I make a motion to appoint Hugh Kennedy.
Is there a second?
Second.
Buddy Fowler has seconded.
Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Councilman Jeremy Shugarts,
No.
Mayor Pro-Tem Don Helms,
Yes.
Councilman Buddy Fowler,
Yes.
Councilman John Koloski.
No.
Madam Mayor, do you wish to exercise your authority to vote to break the tie, or do you wish to abstain?
Yes, I will break the tie, and I will vote yes.
Congratulations, council, we have filled the vacancy.
At this time, we will move to the next item of business, and I will call upon Amy Combs, the Surf City Planning Director, to come up and address the subdivision approval.
Good evening. How are y'all tonight? So in your packet today is a request for the approval of a major subdivision. The ordinance defines a major subdivision as any subdivision that does not meet the requirements of an exempt, a minor, or a minor expedited subdivision. So the subject property is identified on Pender County GIS as 4236-40-4769 and can be seen on your location map that was provided in your packet. The applicant is requesting to subdivide the existing 15.62 acre tract into 2 parcels. The overall property to be subdivided is greater than 2 acres, excluding it from the minor regulations, and was subdivided less than 10 years ago, which removes it from the minor expedited process. If you remember, 2 lots were taken off of this parcel within the last year. So the property will be subdivided to create 1 new 2-acre site, with the remaining 13.62 acres staying as 1 tract. The subdivided lot will have direct access to Belt Road, be served by Pender County Water, and will be served by septic. The parent parcel is zoned R10 with the adjacent Pender County zoning listed as residential performance. The proposed subdivision of this property will create 2 conforming R10 lots and will be compatible with the surrounding Pender County zoning. Planning Board recommended approval of the subdivision as submitted at their last meeting. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Does anyone have any questions for Amy?
No, I do not.
At this time, do we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion, we approve.
All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Was there a second? I'm sorry.
Second it.
Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those that oppose? Motion carries. Thank you, Amy. The next item of business is the resolution to award a bid. If David Price, our Surf City Utility Director, would come forward.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. In your packet is a resolution of tentative award for the Surf City Well 6 open bore drill It's a tentative award because we are utilizing state monies for this. This is a low-interest loan and a grant combined, and it has to be awarded by council and by the state. You guys are the first step and won't actually go into action until the state approves it. This is the first phase of a new drill and water line project. It's going to take place for the next 2 years. It was bid out twice, and the amount is listed on the resolution. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Does anyone have any questions for David?
No, I do not.
Make a motion we approve.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Motion carries. Thank you, David. The next item of business is the NC LM voting delegate, and I'm going to call on Kyle Brewer, the town manager.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This item is to assign the voting authority to myself for the North Carolina League of Municipalities annual legislative goals. Each time the league does this, you have to appoint that delegate to vote. So I'd recommend that you just pass a motion to give myself that authority, and then I'll certainly work with the mayor on setting these priorities. We are to select 10 of the 16 goal statements, and the 10 would be either aligned with our current adopted state legislative goals or items that the town could support and would not be inconsistent with efforts in which we are pursuing.
Make a motion we appoint the town manager to the North Carolina League of Municipalities voting delegate.
I'll second it.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, the same. Motion carries. And the next item is the audit presentation. If Lee Grissom with S. Preston Douglas and Associates would please come forward to deliver our audit presentation.
All right. Good evening. Everybody's favorite part of the night, I'm sure. It's all right. Usually people clear out when I show up, but it's everybody's sticking around. Appreciate the opportunity to be here. It's the 5th year we've audited Town of Surf City. As we go through the graphs in a couple of moments, is a really strong fiscal year. We issued 3 audit opinions this year. The traditional financial statement audit opinion, which we issued an unmodified, clean opinion. The second one is referred to as Yellow Book, which is our requirement to test internal controls at the town. There were no Yellow Book findings, so there were no internal control findings, so that's also good news. The third one, there was a state single audit, which was compliance work related to some grant expenditures, North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality. There were no findings there. So we got the audit out ahead of the deadline. The deadline's October 31st. We submitted it to the Local Government Commission October 28th, and it was approved, no issues. Internally, the book's very much like the last 5 fiscal years, in good shape. You know, you had a new finance director who's now leaving. He was here 2.5 years. He did a terrific job. So hopefully the next person will continue on what he's done for the town. Total net position townwide was $99.6 million at June 30th, 2022. That's an increase of $12.4 million. The Beach Renourishment Fund added $3.3 million during the fiscal year, totaling $19 million. General Fund added $2.4 million. And you'll see a lot of these metrics. One thing unique to this fiscal year, the town received $393,000 of American Recovery Act funds. Because those funds were not spent in this fiscal year, they're recorded as unearned revenue at June 30th, 2022. So that's a little bit confusing. Most people would think you get the money you report as revenue. The way that works, until you spend the money, it's shown as essentially a liability until it's spent. One other thing we mentioned in the last 2 fiscal years, the Town Hall Capital Project Fund currently has a $3.4 million deficit. I had Cal speak on that last year, but that's been the same, I think, the last 2 fiscal years. So what it is, the Town Hall Capital Project Fund owes the general fund about, I think, $3.7 million. I think that's going to be resolved in the next fiscal year or 2. Kyle, do you want to speak on that at all?
Yeah, or Dave, if you want to come up and And essentially, this is, as council is aware, that this is the liability that we took on to build the second portion of this building, but still maintaining the asset on the island of the police department. But Dave, if you want to give any details, please do.
Also, out of that 3.7 million, we're supposed to be getting right around roughly around $500,000. We're still waiting on FEMA to provide us. So, you take out the 500,000, it leaves about 3.2 million, 3.1 million. Keep in mind, we were planning on, like Kyle just alluded to, we were going to sell the land that the police building was once occupied on the island. We decided that we're not going to do that. So, in essence, what I'll do is I can prepare before I leave a budget amendment that's going to transfer 3.1 to 3.2 million over to the town hall project, and then that will take care of the deficit. So that's the option we're going to have because we weren't because the idea was to sell the the land, and that would cover the police wing of this building. But as we decided not to sell the land, so that's how we're going to have to handle that. This doesn't impact any of the numbers that we have in terms of fiscal health. Just want to keep that in mind. Our unassigned fund balance is, I think, 46% of operating expenditures this fiscal year. So even with that transfer, it's not going to impact us, if I stand correct on that. So.
Yeah, and those of you who had the report, it's on page 14. You can see what I'm referring to, the Town Hall Capital Project Fund. You'll see that deficit of $3.4 million.
Does anybody understand what they're saying? Does anybody understand all that? Okay, because just like we're borrowing from ourselves, we just decided not to sell something. Everything's fine. We just wanted to build it. Okay.
And Mayor, I'd also add, we were able to do that and making those decisions because, this board certainly has done a fantastic job at being fiscally responsible and then having good revenues over the last couple of years. We were able to make that decision, and so just want to let the audience, know the background of why that decision is made. So, thank you.
Okay. And a couple of housekeeping items. We did not encounter any difficulties with management during the audit. There were no new accounting policies. We did not have any disagreements. We did not work with another auditor. Just one notable thing that was new this year was GASB 87. I'm not going to go into detail, but essentially what this is, it's capital leases, either a stream of revenue or a stream of expenses over a year that's material. You're supposed to capture that on the balance sheet. So for this fiscal year, you had lease receivables around $250,000 that were recorded under GASB 87, and then on the lease liability side, similarly about $250,000 of liabilities. So that was new this fiscal year. It's an accounting change. It was a huge nightmare for your finance officer and most finance officers. So they probably don't want to talk about it, and you probably don't want to hear about it. But it's essentially affecting the balance sheet, capturing the balance of that lease receivable and that lease payable. Any questions about that? All right, let's get to the graphs. Okay, as you can see here, we have 9 fiscal years of financial information. Most of these are extremely strong. So this one, the first one, fund balance, general fund by fiscal year. So you go back to 2014, the fund balance was at $2.3 million. And fast forward to 2022, you see that nice increase. You're at $11.1 million, and this is your general fund. Just in 2022, you had a $2.4 million increase in the general fund. So extremely strong performance in the general fund over the last several years. Let's go to the second one. This is number of months reserved in the general fund, and as we talked about how that town hall capital project fund would kind of play into the general fund if the general fund absorbs that $3 million we were discussing, it's already actually accounted for. So what this metric is you take the unassigned general fund balance divided by the general fund expenditures. Well, the way the calculation shakes out is that amount that the town hall owes the general fund is already restricted. So that in that 2022, you can see the big drop off from 2020 to 2021. That's where the town hall owed the general fund. So you already accounted for that fact that the town hall owes owes to general fund. So what you're at in 2022 at 46%, the minimum percentage is 25%, and the average is 46. So you're right at average. The local government commission says you're about where municipalities of this size for this metric. Let's go to the next one. And this is total cash, all funds, also extremely strong. You're at the highest, town's at the highest position in the last 9 fiscal years. Back in 2014, you were at 11.1 million. Fast forward to the end of this fiscal year, June 30th, 2022, at 47.4 million. So just in this fiscal year is a $8.4 million increase. So very positive there as well. Let's go to the next one. This is outstanding debt by fiscal year. And as you can see, this is what you would want to see from our standpoint. You can see the debt started 2014, you're at 24.8 million. You know, fast forward to 2022, you're at 12.9 million. So that's a very strong indicator as well. Let's go to the next one. This is water and sewer net position by fiscal year. And again, very similar to the other graphs. You can see a nice increase each fiscal year, each of the last 9 fiscal years. 2014, you're at 22.4 million. Fast forward to 2022, you're at 45.7 million. Just this fiscal year, you had a $4.3 million increase in the water and sewer. So very, very strong here. Let's go to the next one. And this is property tax collections by fiscal year. Again, just another strong metric as well. 2014, you're at 5.3 million, and for the 22 audit, $6.7 million. So the last 3 fiscal years, you've ranged 6.4 to 6.7 million. Let's go to the last one. Property tax collection percentage by fiscal year. You finished up at just under 99%, so that's pretty strong as well. So again, overall, clean audit opinion. There were no internal control findings. Really had no issues. Implemented the new GASB 87. But yeah, we hate to see David go, and the financial metrics were strong. So, is there any questions?
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you,
All right,
Dave.
thank you.
So next, we're going to move forward to our council forum, and we'll start off with Mr. John Koloski.
Thank you. Well, first of all, congratulations to you. Welcome to the team. I'm okay. I'm good.
Mr. Buddy?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm glad to see everyone survived the holidays and we got through it safely and sound. I'm looking forward to working with Mr. Kennedy and on the issues involving the town, and welcome to the council, Mr. Kennedy. And I know we've got a lot of different things and new things coming up. I'm looking forward to it and excited about it. I wish everyone a happy and a prosperous new year. Thank you.
We'll move down to Jeremy.
I just want to say congratulations, Mr. Kennedy. Well done, and all the other applicants that put in also, too. I hope you do not lose your sight and focus. If you decide you want to be on city council someday, there's an opportunity for anybody to serve at any time. I think sometimes things don't work out. I would know that if anybody for you. And but it's going to be exciting. It was great. I just want to say this process was a lot more open and fair than we've done in the past. So it's fantastic that we went through this process. And Hugh, just because I didn't vote for you didn't mean I think you were a great candidate. So we have to go with what we think at the time. So I just want to say congratulations to you. Okay, we're going to put your ass in a fire. I can't wait. Okay, anyway, so no, I'm just joking. Okay. Second things I just want to say to the City Enhancement Committee. I was out of town this week, but those guys have been over there, and it is a true attestament to our citizens that are over power washing and working and doing things for you as citizens to make our city better. And it's super exciting to see them do that. So if you are around any of them, you should tell them that you appreciate what they do, because when it's cold or when it's warm, they're still out there doing some of those things. So these projects don't happen accidentally. So I just want to say thank you to those. And once again to you, Mayor Batts, congratulations. This is a big moment for Surf City. This is a great day for you, and it's just amazing that you're here. And if we can give her one more hand, I think it's amazing that she's our new mayor. Thank you.
I know it. All right, Mayor Pro Tem Don Helms, it's your turn.
I just want to thank everyone for coming. I want to thank you ladies for the work you did on the building over there. I know it was not warm, and you did a great job. People will realize in this town we have a lot of citizens that serve on committees that do a lot for the town, and we need to thank them. I want to thank you for getting on the council. Trudy, thank you for applying. Please keep coming. And I hope everyone had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and that's it.
All right, thank you. So I will say thank you as well for everyone coming out tonight to support me, and it is a very gratifying position to be in, to knowing that you have a support not only from our town council but from our citizens as well. So I'm very grateful. Thank you for all the applicants that did apply. Congratulations, Hugh, for being the nominee that won. Just wanted to let Mr. and Ms. Solak, that have been citizens of our community for many years, that you will be missed. Very nice to see Mr. Billets and Mr. Ellis here tonight, the M&M boys. And I'm going to end with reading a little something here. Nelva Ravenbach Arbery, 87, passed away on January 3rd, 2023. She was born in Sampson County and moved to Surf City in 1987. She was on town council of Surf City for 24 years, from May of 1995 until December of 2019. She was Mayor Pro Tem from December of 1999 until December of 2007. Mayor Guy proclaimed July 1st, 2006 to be Nelva Ravenbach Arbery Day in the town of Surf City. In the early 2000s, a park was dedicated in her name at the north side of town. She was loved by everyone who knew her. She loved the town of Surf City, the citizens, and employees. A visitation for Nelva will be held tonight from 7 to 9 at Coble Funeral Home at the Green Lawn Memorial Park on Shipyard Boulevard in Wilmington. Funeral services will be held on Wednesday, January 11th at 1 o'clock at the Coble Funeral Home. In lieu of flowers, memorial donations may be made to Erlene Graham, to where they plan on putting a memorial bench to be placed at her park, the Nelva R. Arbery Park, on the north side of town. And if you knew Miss Arbery, and you would ask her where you were going or where you been, her favorite words, and that's probably what she would say tonight, if I asked her where you are, she would say, over yonder. So you will be missed dearly, Miss Nelva. I appreciate it, and thank you all for coming. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
One move. Mr. Kennedy, you need to see me before you leave.
Make a motion with your.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you for coming.